Hi guys, you are listening to the 33rd Peep Show episode of Bare Naked Bravery, and my name is Emily Ann Peterson. I'm a singer-songwriter, and I'm also the host of this wonderful, cute little, beautiful show all about crazy, hard stuff like bravery, which is not such a cute thing, usually. Usually it's kind of terrifying. We just passed the 1-year birthday mark of Bare Naked Bravery, and it is so cool. Like, when I started the show, I had this goal. I was like, do not miss a week for a whole year and see what happens. That was my one thing. I wasn't in it to make any money. I was not in it to find out something specific. It was just do it every week and see what happens. And I did it every week. It was really great. We did it more than every week. We did it twice a week for a while, and we're going back to once a week for a couple reasons, which I'll go back into in a second. But generally, the show has been so amazing. It started out as this exploration of interviewing people who I admired, and it continued. I am continuing to interview people who I admire. But what also happened was that a community was started, and that has blown me away. And not because I didn't think it was going to happen, but partly because it wasn't my intention to start a community. But you guys who listen to this show are so amazing, and you are actively engaging and encouraging each other in your own pursuits of art and creativity, and putting yourself out there into the world as business owners or as parents and wonderful citizens of the world. And I am so honored that I get to play even a small part in that. And so happy birthday to us, it's so cool that this is unrolled like this. I'm really excited to see what happens in the future with Bare Naked Bravery and its little community. So if you have somebody who you think would enjoy being part of this community, have them jump on in. It'd be fun to have them. Let's jump into today's episode, because peep shows are usually a peek behind the curtain of the kind of bravery that I'm encountering on a weekly basis. Since we're switching formatting here in this next second year, let me go into a little bit of why we're switching formatting. Just a hair, not a lot, but just a little bit. And we're just doing a tweak. It's mostly because, this last couple months, I've realized that my creativity and my creative output has not been what I'd like it to be. There are a lot of reasons for that, but partly it's been because I've said yes to too many things. And I know that that's come up frequently in Peep Show episodes, that I'm saying no to things, and that's a very brave thing to do in general. But it's something that I have to perpetually relearn and learn how to do new levels of saying no. And lately it's been asking for help. I have been really maxed out time-wise with all of the projects that I'm doing and pursuing, and I need help. I can't do it all on my own. So I have a wonderful podcast production team. Hi, you guys. Hi, Karen. Hi, Mike. I also have a wonderful assistant. Hi, Cheeto. And all of them are in the Facebook group. And actually, I don't think Mike is, but he's welcome to join if he'd like. He's listening to this right now, snickering, I'm sure. I have asked for help, basically, because I can't do it all on my own. It's really important to ask for help when you know that you're facing something really big and brave and you can't do it on your own. And asking for help is a brave thing to do. And it's kind of a roller coaster ride, but it's worth it because you're able to do more things and also focus on the things that you're good at, and have the people who are good at what they do focus on those things as well, which is why I hired the people that I did. I just have to say that some of this stuff that we're talking about in the show and some of the things that I'm experiencing in my own creative career as a songwriter is because I sought out advice and wisdom from people who are experienced and specialists in those specific areas. So I sought out advice from somebody who is a productivity genius. to figure out like where and how should I be spending my time. And I asked my songwriting mentor, Jan Christ, about making plans and how to move forward in a career. I asked my fellow singer-songwriters who are like a couple steps ahead of me what I should do based on their knowledge of the way that our industry is at the current moment. And one of the most recent things that I've done is I went to the Rocky Mountain Folks Festivals and Song School, and it blew my mind. It was something that I wanted to do 2 years ago, but for reasons I'm not going to go into because we don't have time, I was not able to go. And so I was finally able to go this year and really had a total blast. It was everything I thought it was going to be, and that is wonderful. I was really looking forward to it. One of the really mind-blowing experiences I was able to have while I was there was I submitted my latest song to basically get looked at under a microscope by Pat Pattison, who's the Berklee College of Music songwriting professor, or one of the songwriting professors there. And this was such an honor to me to be picked and selected for this masterclass. You submitted your song, he picked the ones he wanted to work with, and then you spent 4 days while at song school just working on those songs. So it was a total of 10 hours of just solid time with Pat Pattison, which is amazing. So most of the, like highly purchased books in songwriting on Amazon these days are written by Pat Pattison. He's a genius at lyrics and how to use the rhythm of rhyme in creating emotion and movement in a piece of music. And it was so cool to just even sit in the class. It was cool. It was even more cool to have my own piece selected and honestly to get like ripped to shreds and handed back to me, just like beating and bleeding and just in smithereens, and have him go, okay, put it back together now. I know that there's a lot of folks who have taken his class and have chosen not to put their song back together, and they just said, I'll just either not play that song ever again, or I will use those tools on a future song, which is fine by me and fine by him. But he had some really amazing comments and some other encouragement that I got throughout from him, and also from other songwriters and other teachers throughout that week and that experience. I just realized, oh my gosh, I'm sitting on talent that I'm not using. I'm sitting on this bravery that I have. Like I have it. I can't ignore the fact that I am called to write songs and called to tell stories through music. And I know how arrogant that must sound. Oh my gosh, I know how arrogant that must sound. But it's still true. Like I am called to be a songwriter, and so I need to be doing more of that. And it's true. Like I look at everything, all the projects that I'm doing, and a lot of those projects are just distracting me from writing songs and putting myself out there as a songwriter. And some of these projects that I've started, they're really great and wonderful and good, but I kind of wonder if I started them just to distract myself from the inevitable calling that I have, because maybe I'm scared. Maybe I'm totally terrified, and that's probably true to some degree. But, there are days like today where I'm feeling really good about this direction and saying, I am just going to go for it. Totally go for it. So what that means for some other things in my life is that I'm changing how I'm doing things. Some of the wisdom that I mentioned earlier that I've received is to change how I do my work. So say, for instance, all of my emails, I did this on Monday. Everything I do on one day is like the same type of activity. So all of my emails, all of the communication I write, all the blog posts I write, all the articles I write, all the writing stuff, like the communication pieces, that all happens in one day, because if I could make it happen in one day, because I'm living in that same brain space, and I'm not having to bump around from spreadsheet to blog post to spreadsheet to blog post. You know what I mean? So, and I've tried that a couple weeks now, and it's been so amazing. I'm able to get so much stuff done because I am not having to flip around from channel to channel. I'm not channel surfing in my brain to get things done. I'm just sticking on CNN, and I'm working on sending emails and writing blog posts and things like that, communicating with my clients and all of that. So that's one tip I have for you guys, one brave takeaway for you. Try to, if you work for yourself or you have some sort of flexibility at all in your schedule and your to-do list, try to clump all of the like things together. And that goes for all of the shopping in one afternoon, or all of the gardening in one afternoon or one morning. Like, try to do all of that at once, like in bulk, and it really, really does help. So that's one thing. The other thing that I've been doing is saying no to appointments and to regular obligations that I have had in previously. You know, I took, with some of the things that I was involved in, I took a break from them for the summer, and I've basically said, no, I'm not going to come back, because that was really nice to not have to do that, do those things. Even though I miss them or miss the people or miss the activities, it's really refreshing to just have some clean white space to focus in on the things that matter to me. So it's really like realigning all of my values with my calendar and my time. And then the third thing that is happening as a result of all these changes and this like refocus or the tweaking of the trajectory is choosing to spend this next season shoring up resources. And that means time, that means sharpening my tools, songwriting wise and writing wise, and even bravery wise. It means creating systems that are going to support me in this next season. It means preparing to release my album, of my full-length album that has been that I've been sitting on like an Easter egg for years now. I'm so ready to get this thing out into the world, and it needs to happen. I'm just really looking forward to it. So there it is. But there are some things that need to happen before we get that thing out into the world. So I'm spending this season focusing on these projects that really matter to me and the daily activities that are of value. So you're going to see less of the Peep shows, partly because I'm switching to weekly, but we're not going to eliminate them altogether. So, some weeks it's going to be, our episodes will still launch on Tuesdays. Some weeks it's going to be an interview. Some weeks it's going to be a Peep show like this one. The Peep shows are still going to be fairly short, on the short side, but I do want to give you some value and not have it just be like, this is what I'm doing, look at me. I do want to use these Peep show episodes to teach you something, and not from a place of total expertise, but a place of, hey, I might be 1 or 2 steps ahead of you in this regard, and I can teach you at least this. So if you have some questions you want to submit to me for the remainder of 2017 for these Peep show episodes, please submit them. And you can do that there's a link at the bottom of barenakedbravery.com. You can also submit it by using the hashtag #AskEmilyAnn in either the Facebook group or on Instagram. And those are great ways to submit your question or conundrum, basically. If you have a bravery conundrum, I'm happy to help you with it. We can see if we can crack the code on it. Happy to figure it out and roll up my sleeves with you. The other thing I want to say is that, we have, in this past year, we've had sponsors of each episode that, sometimes it's been a business tool, sometimes it's been a really useful class that I'm doing or something like that. But from here on out, I want to use the rest of this year to thank and to invite you guys to become patrons of mine and the show. I mean, yes, it's financial, yes, but The reason why I do the things that I do is because I have the encouragement from my patrons. Before this show got started, I had patrons, and those patrons have been so faithful and loyal and wonderful. And, they are the people that I go to when I have questions about my career. They are the people that I go to even offline when I have questions about what I should do. I've written songs to honor them. I have grieved with these people. I have done life. We have done beautiful things together. And I want to invite you into some of that beauty. So go to barenakedbravery.com/patron, PATRON, and you can learn more about what that's like. But basically, you don't have to be a millionaire to be a patron. You can just help artists out with $1 at a time. And I want to invite you to do that. Just because it's a wonderful relationship, and I would love to have that be part of your and my relationship. So if you've gotten anything out of this show, being brave and just going for the thing that you think is a little bit out of reach, do it. It's worth it. It's something that I'm trying to do myself. But secondly, it's reach out to your community, build a community, because that's also worth it. And we need each other's bare naked bravery to get through this thing that we roll our eyes with and cringe and pull our blankets over our heads from. Life is kind of scary and really terrifying, and it's not so terrifying when we do it together. So become a patron. That'd be awesome. Join the Facebook community. We would love to have you. This next season of Bare Naked Bravery is going to be wonderful, because we're all going to be doing things that we're kind of terrified to do, including and especially myself. So when I say this, I'm talking to myself and you. But as always, my message for you before our next episode, before next Tuesday, is this: be brave, be vulnerable, be imaginative, be improvisational, because the world needs more of your bare naked bravery.